What's up, y'all? Get some music in this thing real quick.
Smoking on the billy, keep the good stealing. This is not a fantasy, this is how we living. Walking the ride, nigga, I'm gon' get it. Ain't nothing like the feeling, nigga, when the top chillin'. Smoking on the stogie, coffee got me choking. Bust open this with a sweet, gon' crack it open, sour patch. Got me zoning, blowing, smoke it till tomorrow. While y'all worried about Corona, I'm opening up Corona bottles, living like it's already 2025. Futuristic killing George Jetson is a lie. Back from the future, destination verified. Coordinates correct before y'all caught the T-virus. They living off the vibes that we sitting to the hive. Right before your eyes, knowledge and ignorance collide. They say that the zombies only dying from headshots. Prison rebellions, cause they know that the cage man out. Skynet uploaded on your smartphone files. Couple of years after the Terminator survived. I hustle and I grind to get my piece of the body. Say y'all looking for the answers. Access has been denied, but I'm smoking on the billy. Keep the good spilling. This is not a fantasy. This is how we living. Walking the ride, nigga, I'm gon' get it. Ain't nothing like the feeling, nigga, when the time chillin'. Smoking on the billy. Keep the good spilling. This is not a fantasy. This is how we living. Walking the ride, nigga, I'm gon' get it. Ain't nothing like the feeling, nigga, when the top chillin'. Yo, drill, dog records, renegade mob life. Bitch, I'm 900 life. I'm looking for the access has been denied. Right before all the Terminators arrive. Are you niggas still alive? Are you niggas still alive? But I'm busting up a billy. Nothing like when the top chillin'.
Nothing like when the top chillin'.
Check this out.
This was on the train? Cool.
So it's settled. We need an app.
Oh, milky fella.
Billions. Mob. Drill. Gon' smoke a million blunts, split them, fill them up. That's the icky stuff, most real smokers can't get enough. They smoke the blunts, tuck the doobies, some be quick to share. I fuck around, burn it down, big bags of weed everywhere. Sometimes I'm stingy with the sticky, got me choosing picky. It's oozing THC and CBD, blunt full of resin. When it come to smoking, nigga, I'm a connoisseur. If you running out, then go ahead and grab some more. Then grab a box of cigars from the corner store. That 3.5 of hempgods of the ounce with the collectible jar. I'm blowing till it's all gone, but I'm still bagging. We legal now, we went from baggage to a Mylar pack.
Let's smoke a million blunts. Let's smoke a million blunts.
Break it down, fill it up. Took the side,
Roll it up.
light it up,
Take a puff. Let's smoke a million blunts. hold on, my head in the clouds, I might need a doctor. Roll your windows up, I'm a professional hot boxer. When it come to sticky, no kush on the roster. I don't even know can roll more proper, okay. This next blunt for my dog Anna. Break it down, face up, you know that's on $1. Chick, how many blunts you smoke today? Man, a whole lot of. I'm a whole grinder. Packing my drawers is blunt, a whole monster. Plus, everybody around me got their own product. Walking too close, the aroma. Shorty, stop ya. Moon rocker, did I mention show stopping? What block hotter? Roll it all up, some city, you know we got it. Enough for that, let's keep it G. Enough blunts for a nigga to smoke a billion a piece, huh? Let's smoke a million blunts. Let's smoke a million blunts. Let's smoke a million blunts.
Break it down,
Fill it up,
Tuck the side,
roll it up,
light it up,
take a puff. Let's smoke a million blunts. Category 1 on the way. Chief Havoc, Luke Dog Trill. Yeah. Ha.
In my head, bring you that. Organize these voices in my head, bring you that. It's ridiculous, so that the spirit is filling your body as soon as you hearing it. When the energy that you infect them with charge of is feeling, they know that you're serious. When the people call out for the teaching, you gather the troops and raise them to experience. It's the sacred, the secret, the leader, the street underground, yeah, that's where the spirit is. Organize the organization and every legend. Pushing the shit like it's a pyramid. Our accomplishments so far away for the next generation to spit how they want to spit. When we hustle, it's October. We get cash, credit, and checks. We have national respect. Our talents with amazing talents, commodity, choices, and assets. And on your mind, or method, or whatever liability you rock with. All the niggas you wanna block with. Skating from soldiers, slime with them hockey sticks. Rigged out psycho mode with the shit up in the cockpit. Nigga, I present to you this motherfucking psycho shit. It's just that psycho flow. It's that book spirit in the music. It's that psycho flow. It's the essence to speaking to you, nigga. It's that psycho flow. This revolution make you scared. It's just that psycho flow. Organize these voices in my head, bring you that psycho flow. It's that book spirit in the music. It's that psycho flow. It's the essence to speaking to you, nigga. It's that psycho flow. This revolution make you scared. It's just that psycho flow. Organize these voices in my head, bring you that. Organize these voices in my head, bring you that.
Yeah.
Organize these voices in my head, bring you that.
And I made the beat. That's why the shit went so hard. Cause I made the beat and I rapped on it, wrote the lyrics, performed it. Then I told you to, you know what I'm saying, get that psycho flow, organize them voices inside your head, come up with that, you know, oneness. Cool. So, still got the lecture we're gonna get into, but I wanted to review, or better yet, kind of like watch the inspiration behind why I was already gonna do the video on the calendars and stuff. Well, on time, the concept, but I figured I'd watch them with y'all, and then I'll come right back, we'll do the lecture, and we'll get into into the knowledge further. So let's go and get into it. So we're looking for the Gregorian calendar, man. This is actually the video here.
Okay, you guys, I just found something out, and it's blowing my mind. Some of you may already know this, so don't come in the comments like, you didn't know that? No, I didn't. You know why? Because I live in the United States of America, where we have been brainwashed and not been taught about real history. Okay, if you guys go to the first video on this playlist, the simulation.
Truth. You know, it's extensive brainwashing. Even to the point where they got documents and they basically display the information themselves, letting it be known. Yeah. Oh, let me go and subscribe to y'all since I'm listening to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I filmed it on January 11th, 2021. And it was showing how all of the times were different on every clock, every digital clock. My boyfriend at the time was working. He had like 3 computers in front of him. They all said different times. His phone said a different time. He came upstairs to show me my phone said a different time. All the times were messed up. In my comments, people were like, what about analog clocks? As you can see, I have analog clocks. So I went to check those, and those were off too. So I was like, there's been a weird shift in the universe, because the ball also didn't drop on time at the New York ball. It was like a minute late or something. I was like, we've definitely shifted dimensions. Something's going on. Look at this. I recently came across a video talking about how the calendar is supposed to have 13 months, but the Gregorian calendar changed it, which is the calendar we follow today. So I see this comment, come to Ethiopia, you will see what you are saying. We have 13 months within a year. So someone commented, right now we're in 2014, year of Mercury. Today's date is Thursday, the 22nd of March, 2014. Our new year is on the 1st of September. And I was like, wait, they're living in 2014 and we're living in 2022? Is that why they say that all time is simultaneous, like past, present, and future? We're all living in it at once? But then I saw this comment. So if we're in 2014, according to your calendar, 2020 Gregorian calendar corresponds to 2012, your calendar, when the truth started to come out and people woke. So the Mayans were right. COVID really put everyone in 2020. Using your calendar, that means that the year 2012...
Well, I had to stop it real quick. A lot of it is accurate, but we want to take the spookism out. We know what happened. The Gregorian calendar ain't the calendar that was wrote in stone or some magic tablet or some shit. They came up with it the same place they came up with the religion, Christianity, which was used as a tool in order to control, subdue, and conquer. And we know that it's several other calendars. They was even going by the Julian calendar before then, before the Gregorian, named after Julius Caesar. So it could have been very well, yeah, for sure could have been a dimensional shift that's happening all the time, yeah. So I ain't gonna discredit that. And as far as the whole them, us, different times at one time, I really can't say, simply because we got different calendars, that ain't fact. Because when you think about it, right now is the future and the past too. So yeah,
was the end of the world. Mind blown. Okay, so of course I had to look up when our calendar started. It was in 1582. Ethiopian calendar started around AD 400. So they are obviously way more correct than we are. How many years did we lose switching to the Gregorian calendar? 8 years. We're lost in translation when the switch to the Gregorian calendar was made to the 15th century. And if you guys remember, the Mayan calendar says that the end of the world would be on December 21st, 2012. And even according to the Julian calendar, that would be on January 21st, 2020, when COVID was at its peak. So I'm freaking out in the middle of the night, and I message my dear friend JK Ultra Jen. If you guys aren't following her, please go follow her, who's super into all this stuff. And I was like, girl, I'm sure you know this, but did you know this? And her and I are both freaking out because we didn't know this. So she goes and converts what day is December 21st, 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar. What does it calculate to us? December 31st, 2019. So the last day of the world, according to the Mayan calendar, was on December 21st, 2012, if we had kept up with the original calendar. But because we switched it, it was December 31st, 2019. So in 2020...
Now you gotta wonder, why all the confusion through 2020? Why was the shit planned at the end of 2019? Because, yeah, we all know that it was a whole simulation put out where they said that, nah, this is just tests. They said we just gonna run this test and see what it would look like as far as the figures, the numbers, if they were to engage in producing an epidemic. Now this was all put out. This wasn't no hidden thing. Yeah, it's videos on it. There's documents on it. Our officials was there. Officials from other places, other countries. They leaders. They all met at this place. I think it was called Agenda 21. But yeah.
The new world started. So we have already shifted into a new dimension. And this is why everything is so different. This makes so much sense. Are you guys freaking out? Because I'm freaking out.
Man, she freaking out. Okay, that's cool. But that's what's up. Don't own the rights to none of this. Well, I do own the rights to the music in the beginning.
What if I told you that you could actually travel back in time? Not just a mere leap of a second that Einstein proved you could, but a massively unimaginable 7 years and 8 months all the way back to the start of 2014. Where could this be? It would have been fun to get your guesses if you hadn't noticed the title of this video, but that's just not how YouTube works. This is Ethiopia, the only country in the world whose year lasts 13 months instead of
not the only country in the world.
12, and where the nation's calendar is more than 7 years out of sync with the one used in much of the rest of the world. While there are many cultures around the world that have and follow their own calendars, which are not the same as the Gregorian calendar, however, they abide by the rule of 12 months a year, making Ethiopia curiously unique. Unlike the Gregorian calendar used widely in the West, Ethiopia's version not only squeezes 13 months into every year, that is 12 months comprising 30 days each, and an additional month made up of just 5 or 6 days, depending on whether it's a leap year. It is also 7 years behind the Western calendar. Last week on Saturday was September 11th, 2021, for all countries in the world. But on that day, this Horn of Africa nation marked the beginning of its new year, 2014. Traveling to Ethiopia is therefore definitively taking a trip back in time. The additional 13th month of the Ethiopian year, called Pagum,
Hold up. That shit was fly as hell, though. Because that nigga say traveling to Ethiopia is legitimately going back in time. It is, though. But peep this, anytime you travel anywhere, you're going forward or backwards. Whether you go to the West Coast and travel to the East Coast after that, same thing.
5 days and 6 days in a leap year. In contrast, the
plus, not to mention, but I'm gonna mention it, it's places on continents that have different suns and moons. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Alaska is a United States state. Okay, so in Alaska, it's 30 days or more, 30 to 60 days, where it's dark the entire time. But that's not the only place like that. And it's places that have the opposite thing going on, where the sun is up whole days at a time. But it's one sun and one moon, right? Nah, it ain't.
Gregorian calendar has days that can be less or more than 30 days in a month. Some differences were the result of kings adding extra days on the months bearing their names in their honor in the Julian calendar, such as July and August, which were named after Julius Caesar and Augustus and have 31 days each. One of the reasons why Ethiopia celebrates its new year in September is that the number of daylight hours and nighttime hours happens to be exactly equal across the globe once every September, and the sun and the moon, which are used to count time, each set after 12 hours, also called an equinox. These are the days when the sun is exactly above the equator, which makes day and night of equal length. This means that Ethiopians also tell time differently from most of the world, with the day divided into two 12-hour slots starting from 6. Here, days start at dawn rather than midnight, which would make both midday and midnight 6 o'clock in Ethiopian time. They don't usually use the ante-meridian and post-meridian timing and begin their day at 1 a.m. and end at 12 p.m., which is sunset local time. We can only imagine the explosion of confusion that would ensue if this system was to be adopted across the world, but Ethiopians make it work. That is, until you introduce newbies to the system. The use of a different calendar has always confused foreigners visiting the country. Keeping appointments with locals is more often than not a nightmare for foreign visitors, who are always encouraged to make it clear when they are making appointments with locals on whether they are referring to local or European time. The other reason is derived from religious belief. The Ethiopian calendar is greatly intertwined with biblical anecdotes. The last day of the year in the country, which the rest of us call New Year's Eve, is referred to as Pagume Main, pardon my pronunciation, and the first day of a new year is Enkuntatash, meaning the gift of jewels. The Enkuntatash tradition dates back to the time when the famous Queen of Sheba returned from her journey to visit King Solomon in Jerusalem, where she was gifted expensive jewelry. Her return to Ethiopia after receiving the gift coincided with the New Year celebration in September. But Enkuntatash is not exclusively a religious holiday. Ethiopians believe that the month of September shows different signs that explain the beginning of the new year, such as the time where the blooming of flowers are seen everywhere, the rainy and foggy weather leaves, and the pleasant sunny days begin. The distinctive dating system has its roots in the ancient Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which, like Orthodox churches throughout the world, did not follow Pope Gregory XVIII's decision to abandon the Julian calendar for the Gregorian one in 1582. The Ethiopian and Gregorian calendars both use the birth date of Jesus Christ as a starting point for their calculations. The difference in the two calendars is because alternate calculations are used in determining this date. Pope Gregory XVIII, who created the Gregorian calendar, made some changes to the previously used Julian calendar. Several countries that were under the dominion of the Catholic Church had to accept the Gregorian calendar.
Rachel, you gotta help me. My site was hacked. I don't know what to do. Call me back as soon as you can.
Okay, we're gonna go with the
Calculate the
card.
dates right. And we can... How the Gregorian calendar that we are following might not be correct. And that there is another calendar that everyone should know about.
This man says, hey,
The Gregorian calendar, if you've studied history, you know that the Gregorian calendar did not go down very easily with indigenous people. The Gregorian calendar went out with the Spanish and with the Catholic bishops, and they conquered lands and then told people what day it was. Most civilizations already had their own calendars, and then these guys come along and say, no, this is the day. It didn't go down very easy. They had to kill millions and millions of people to get them to follow this Gregorian calendar.
Bam. Now we get to the shit that I'm talking about. The shit that we're going to get into in this lecture. Where we realize that the Gregorian calendar was created at the Council of Nicaea with the construct of not a Yeshua, but the imagery of a Caesar with rituals from pagan. I'm not nobody in what they worship. Don't get this shit twisted. Rituals from old religions like the Ishtar, you know what I'm saying? And basically combining all that together, creating all these different things. I realize there's even theories that support the calendar, which means that it's a whole big old web of things. It was all put together to be like a movement. Excuse me. And yeah, that shit crazy.
And what this Gregorian calendar was all about was the physical measurement of our orbit. And it turns out that this is a very, very insidious tool. You probably never thought that a calendar could be so evil. But what this calendar has done is it has pinned our civilization's consciousness to physical evidence only. The absolute dead center of our civilization is focused on only physical evidence. The measurement of physical objects moving through space. That's why it's not earmarked word anymore. Because there has been a steady erosion of our consciousness of things other than physical.
Okay.
Introducing Dance Studio Pro,
now,
the world's
deep.
best dance studio software.
Yeah.
Built.
Maybe the understanding to come through by hearing it like that. See, we'll find something else. Okay, young Pharaoh spoke on it. He said it was Gregorian calendar tricks. Timekeeping. Let's get into this shit.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you very much everybody for coming tonight. As Yap introduced, I'm Donna Carroll and I teach physics here at the University of Maastricht. Tonight I want to talk to you, as you can tell from the title, I want to talk to you about time. And time is a huge topic, so there are so many things that it's possible to look at time from a psychological perspective. So if you're having...
Might be too low. Timekeeping, I like that though. Well, we'll find one more. Oh, okay. It sounds like it's close to the game that I'm trying to give to y'all. Okay, my nigga David, is this some screw you bumping, nigga? What's really going on? What you got? Some backmasking, nigga? Okay, I'm with it. I'm, you know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking this shit or nothing, but I don't know. Is this some screw, nigga? Cause you need to chop that shit too if it's screw on that.
Hey, this is David Anatola, and on this segment, we're going to talk about Roman history, the Gregorian calendar, and how we came to see the months and the days of the week to be what they are today. And we're going to answer the question, or even ask the question, rather, has the world already been changed according to biblical scripture by Satan? Has time, the dates, and things changed as the scripture prophesies? I mean, what is the history of the Roman Gregorian calendar? And why do we worship so many Greek and Roman gods still in modern times? And how has this affected not only black people psychologically, but all of humanity to have former calendars and histories discarded or even lost? And what?
Because a lot of people don't know. We're going to put that out there. There's a lot of calendars out there. There's a lot of calendars out there. You got the Coptic. You got the Hindu. You get, of course, the Ethiopian, the Gregorian, the Julian. But you get the Buddhist. It's a lot of different calendars.
The ramifications of the psychological misinformation that has been received by black people in America. How is that going to affect us in our development in the future with understanding our own history? So, in this video, we're going to discuss the Gregorian calendar, the history of the Gregorian calendar, the gods, goddesses, and demonic entities linked to the calendar, and we're going to discuss whether or not time has already been changed by the spirit of evil, and whether or not we are indeed living in the matrix for accepting the current calendar, time and date, and worship monthly of false pagan gods. Let's get into this video and uncover the truth.
Assumptions are dangerous, especially when they are made in the realm of religion. If a theological belief is based upon a faulty assumption, the religious practice will be in error. The most common assumptions in Christendom are that Saturday is the scriptural Sabbath and Sunday is the day on which Yahushua was resurrected. These beliefs are built upon another assumption, that the modern week has cycled continuously and without interruption ever since creation. The facts of the Julian calendar, however, prove these assumptions false. The Julian calendar was established in 45 BC. Like the calendar of the Roman Republic before it, the early Julian calendar had an 8-day week. Days of the week on the Republican and early Julian calendars were assigned letters.
Save. Now he slid that one by me, but I ain't know it was a Republican calendar. That's what's up.
A through 8.
Gotta investigate that and see if it's. I'm sure it's related to all the Republican Democrat shit.
All early Julian calendars, fasti, still in existence, date from 63 BC to AD 37. An 8-day week is clearly discernible on these stone fragments. It is not to be doubted that the diffusion of the Iranian-Persian mysteries has had a considerable part in the general adoption by the pagans of the week with Sunday as a holy day. The names which we employ unawares for the other 6 days came into use at the same time that Mithraism gained its followers in the provinces in the west. And one is not...
You think that's a coincidence? Think it's a coincidence that calendars just popped up while people was being conquered? Excuse me. We just watched a video where the guy basically said that once they came and killed the people, they gave them these dates. So, what we're seeing is that at the Council of Nicaea, a bunch of power tools was being created in order to build this thing and get this job done. Is this the calendar that the whole world uses and no other calendar? Nah. But we got a better understanding of what's really going on. So we're gonna get ready for the election, and hope y'all enjoyed the reviews. I wanna say, research this for yourself. That's why I always come and bring it like that, so that you can go and you can look, man, for yourself. Don't just take my word. I just want to present the information, to be honest. So, all right, y'all. Peace.